Well, what's happening? Happy Saturday night. We've got a big game on here. Packers are taking on the 49ers in what we're hoping is going to be the matchup that drives the Lions to a third home game this playoffs. I wanted to jump on tonight because last night I did not leave anybody any real opportunity to call in and voice their opinions. And I'm not expecting a big crowd tonight, but those of you that do get on, if you do want to call in tonight and, kind of voice your opinion, talk about the Lions, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I know everybody else would love to hear what you have to say. Got a huge game tomorrow. I guess I don't know how to put it into words other than this is the biggest game that the Detroit Lions have ever had since last weekend. And if we get through this, if we can just get through this next game, I can only imagine what's going to happen for the city of Detroit. I mean, outside of the money aspect and what's happening for Detroit right now, you're talking $50 million roughly coming into the city, over these 2 weekends, not including, all the ticket sales for the Detroit Lions, which is pushing, probably close to $100 million by the time it's all said and done. Depending on the poll that they get from Ticketmaster and all that good stuff. But tonight was simply about the fans. That's it. It's just about you guys. I don't have a lot of, talk prepared. I just wanted to get you guys active and open up the phone line right away and see who wants to call in and talk about it. So let me pop out the chat and put the number in the chat, and then we'll get rolling. So the one thing that I did want to start off with, though, there is one thing, and I was going to do a video about it, but we'll just go ahead and talk about it here. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn have been running a gauntlet of interviews today and yesterday. Ben Johnson had 6 out of the 7 openings. Aaron Glenn had 4. Now, that doesn't mean that Aaron Glenn won't have more. It just means that Ben Johnson apparently is the hotter coordinator right now. And maybe Aaron Glenn is, already whittling down where he would like to be. If I were to make a call, an early prediction on where Ben Johnson lands, if he leaves Detroit Lions, I don't want him to, but if he leaves the Detroit Lions, I'll put it this way. The Chargers would probably be the absolute best opportunity for Ben Johnson. They already have an amazing quarterback, kind of a blend between a Matt Stafford and a Jared Goff, and they're on their way. So I think that Ben Johnson would love that Chargers position as head coach. I think that that's definitely one that makes sense for him. Aaron Glenn, I'm not real sure. I mean, he's a defensive-minded guy, and I think that if you were to look at the better defenses, I almost think that the Washington Commanders position is probably the best opportunity for him. Now, I know they lost, 2 top-tier guys there in Sweat and Young, but that doesn't mean that he still wouldn't want to go there with the rest of the pieces that they have assembled. So enough about them. I just hope that they're staying, nose to the grindstone like they said they have been, and focused on tomorrow's plan. Dan Campbell did an excellent job with making sure that they did get some time, but it was after practice. It was after game planning. It was their personal time that they were going to have to take. I hate the rule. I hate that coaches can even be interviewed throughout the season like this. And it's not just for the Lions. It's for all teams. I think it's pointless. I think if you're going to fire your head coach, then I think that you should be, I don't know, I guess put on the back burner until the season ends if there's somebody that you want that's still going for it. So, all right. So good evening, everybody in the chat. Casey, Rob Lopez, Bill Collier, Phil Feist. Tonight is about all of the fans. I want to get you guys in on some phone calls and calling in. So I'm going to drop the number in the chat. Make sure that the phone is turned on here. And remember, I only have the one line. I'm not using a conference call system. So just call the number, and then I'll get you in. And then when this person hangs up, the next person can call in. So the number is in the chat, 313-312-0348. And tonight, again, it's about you guys. I want you to tell me how you feel about the Detroit Lions, maybe how long you've been a fan. How many games have you gone to? Are you a season ticket holder? Just paint me a picture of who you are as a fan and how you feel about your Lions, or say it another way, whatever you want to talk about the Detroit Lions. So phone lines open, 313-312-0348. And the way this works is when the phone rings, I'll be muted for a few moments. So you'll see my mouth moving, but I won't be talking because I'm going to bring this person in, vet them for a quick second, and then we'll get rolling. So phone lines open if you guys want to call in. If you don't, that's okay too. What I'm going to do right now instead, while we're waiting, is I'm going to try to pull up this Packers game, which should be starting any moment here. And at least have that playing in front of me, so we've got some things to talk about. Looks like it's on Fox, YouTube TV, Fubo. Should be on Fox, right? All right. So yesterday, we had an opportunity to have about an hour and a half show. Derek was on with us, and we spoke about a lot, for tomorrow's game, and put a lot of things out there. I believe that my prediction's 31-18. It still stands. I think these Lions can have a much better performance than what they had in week 6. And I think defensively, Aaron Glenn is going to throw a curveball tomorrow. I think that he's going to do something different, something that we haven't seen in a little bit, and that's apply more pressure on the edge without sending the ends. And not only that, but utilizing the DBs in a way that's going to maintain Evans. I really think he's going to try to keep everything underneath and not allow Evans to break free and to get, loose like every receiver out of the last 4 or 5 games has been able to. I'm hoping that he does that. Now, look, it's just a scheme. The players still have to play. So even though he may call the right defense, put the guys in the right alignment, they still have to perform. And I think it's no secret, we are missing a couple of guys on this team, couple of playmakers. So I think that that's our biggest hurdle right now, is we've just got to get a few more bodies on this team that are big time playmakers, and they'll come. We'll have them soon. Definitely after this next free agency and in this next draft period, I think that our team is going to be set up for the long term. And that's something that I didn't get a chance to talk about yesterday. So, all right, 313-312-0348. If you'd like to call in. If you guys want to call in and talk about the Lions, now's the time to do it. Hey, you don't got to worry about calling in, man. It's just like we're having a conversation, with your buddy, your sister, your brother, whatever. Brimanda says, what's going to be the chance for tomorrow? Amon Ra. I like that one. Maybe we'll do that one tomorrow. We'll try to start it. So I'm making some signs. My lady is, Megan, is busy helping me out, doing some cutouts here. And I'm finally going to bring a sign. I tried to have one printed at Office Depot, and they said it would be ready. And then and today I call and they say, yeah, no, we won't be able to get it done for you. And so I'm like, oh, well, I guess we're just going to have to make one. I've never brought one, but look for it. It's going to say Rock On. Detroit Lions #1 podcast. It's going to have a little YouTube thing and a QR code. And if we have enough time on the back side of it, I'm going to do something funny with it. But let me know. I'll be in section 105 behind the Lions bench, about 34 rows up. and let me know if you see it. The goal tomorrow is to try to get that thing on TV and make it go. All right, so nobody wants to call in. Let me find some things to talk about. Green Bay Packers, 49ers. Who's winning? We saw the Texans got manhandled today by the Ravens. And I got to tell you, these Ravens, man, they are the real deal. All right, we got a caller. I'll be right back. All right, Lions fans, we have Casey on the line. Casey, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great, man. So tell me what's on your mind. How long you been a Lions fan, and what do you think about tomorrow's game?
Well, I grew up downriver Detroit in the 70s. Went to Northern Michigan University, but then spent my adult life out on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, Inland Northwest. And due to some family instances, I work remotely, but I had some family instances. I was helping my mom out back in Michigan. My stepfather passed away last summer.
Oh, man.
So I've been in the metro area and her lake cabin up north. Just enjoying Michigan for the past 9 months, and just fortuitous that I've been in town when the Lions were having some success. I was downriver and on the way up and just stopped in and watched the Broncos game, which was a great event. They sang 4 down the field 5 times, which is awesome.
Wow. So Pacific Northwest, man, a place that I've always wanted to go. I heard that Portland, and I don't know where you are out there, but I heard that Portland is like the most perfect temperature if you don't mind a little bit of rain. That's a funny joke, just a little bit. But it's almost like a perfect temperature. Like it's never too hot, never too cold. Even in the winter, it's fairly mild. But I definitely want to get out there and visit the Pacific Northwest. If I were to go out there, where should I go?
Well, I spent my adult life, out after Northern Michigan University in San Francisco and Oakland, Northern California.
Nice.
I traveled all the way up, Oregon, like Ashland, Oregon, Crater Lake, all the way up to the Portland area, Seattle. But actually, the inland Northwest is choice. Obviously, there's a lot of politics and crappy stuff that you have to deal with urban environments, like in San Francisco and Portland, the city stuff with drugs and homelessness and all that kind of crap. But Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, North Idaho, just east of Spokane. I lived there for 3 years after COVID. Absolutely beautiful. North Idaho is amazing. Jackson Hole. All of Wyoming and Montana. So the inland Northwest is kind of like a hidden little gem that's in that whole region. So I would check that out too.
I love it, man. I'll check it out. So what do you think about tomorrow's game as far as our Lions, man? Are they going to pull this thing off? And if you think they are, what do you think the score is going to be?
I love watching the people talk throughout the week, talking heads in the media and everybody getting excited about it. It's impossible to, predictions. There's analysts and, I hate to say any given Sunday, but just the matchups and the health of the team comparatively. I just think, I think they're going to cover the spread and possibly, I hate to be a gomer because it's playoffs. But I think this is just a little bit of, they're a very strong coached team, in all facets. They had some of the weaknesses on that they've been talking about the defensive backfield. But I think possibly if Ali McNeil up the middle where they're weak, and then Hutch and Houston can have a little bit of pressures and maybe some magic happens with DPJ returning one. There's some X factors that are in there that can assuage some of those DB's weaknesses. And I think they'll lean off of some of those blitzes that they've been doing just so I think they have a healthier player. But I think, like last game, I think if they come out strong, run a couple drives, get an early lead and just manage the game and win, maybe like the high 20s, maybe early 30s. So like a teens, low 20s game.
I like it. I mean, I think they have an opportunity tomorrow to definitely score more than 20 points, like they did in the first go round, getting 5 or 6 guys back, both offense and defense. But I like what you were saying there about DPJ possibly getting, some action back there. So in the poll I just put up, will the Lions get a punt or a kick return for a TD tomorrow? And we haven't had one in a while. I mean, Khalif Raymond started to come alive and then he got hurt. So I like your action, man. I think that you covered everything, giving the Lions a chance, covering the spread, but giving them a chance to win this game. And that's all this team needs, man. Dan Campbell has this team coached very well, like you just said. So,
well, there's two things that Campbell's been saying, and like a lot of the fans have been saying for months now, is that Campbell was saying that Khalif with the special teams is just about ready to break one every game, about just ready to break one, and we've yet to see that. And all the fans have been saying, I just can't wait for that JMO explosive game. He had that one long catch, 50-yarder against the Bucs, that comeback catch. But we need to see a little bit more from JMO, other than two possession catches underneath, or maybe an end around or jet sweep type thing. He needs to show up a little bit more. I think some of that explosive nature, and also too some sort of special teams, or like a big defensive like CJ backs up his talk, or Branch for the pick six. We need something other than just the offense to kind of control it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice about having Khalif, someone who's just mentioned who's Leaf, and Leaf is Liff, or Leaf is Khalif Raymond. But it's nice having, our offense lead us. It seems like in every single game, that they're going to show up. And if they don't show up, something is really off. And that's what happened against the Ravens. And as we've watched these Ravens throughout this entire season, they've pretty much put it on just about every single team they faced. I have no doubt in my mind that the Ravens are going to make it to the Super Bowl. And that is, if the Lions made it to the Super Bowl, that is the one team that I'm worried about. They have not tripped up this entire season. So back to the offense, what I was saying is it's nice that our offense can get to work. We, just like you said, need our defense to step up, make some big plays, get the crowd going. Because once you get the crowd going off some defensive plays, it's a different atmosphere. Offense is great. Defense is louder. So we tend to really get riled up over the defensive plays versus the touchdowns. We expect the touchdowns. So, well, Casey, I appreciate you calling in, my man, and being part of the show and watching the show. And let's go get these Bucs tomorrow.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not too. I'm just excited about the journey. We all know there's probably some bittersweetness behind it. Every team faces it. There's only one team that's going to make it to the end. There's only a few teams left. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Just enjoy the moment, and if things proceed, that's awesome. We have another opportunity to play another game and maybe, potentially win a championship. If they don't, well, we're going to draft well again, make some smart free agent pickups next year, and we can try it all again in 2020 at the end of this year. That's right. And okay, peace out, brother. I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, man, I appreciate you calling, and have a good night.
Okay. We'll see you in the chat.
All right, man. We'll see you. So you heard it from Casey, man. He's cautiously optimistic, if I could put some words to it. He feels like our Lions are going to play well in cover. So he's, I guess he's kind of toting the line there, not too sure, but sure. Again, not to put words in his mouth, but for me, I really think that these Lions are going to play a much more well-rounded game tomorrow versus the Bucs than they did the first time around. We kind of stumbled and fumbled a little bit through the first, 2 quarters. And then we took off. And it wasn't until that JMO touchdown that the Lions finally started to put it together. The one thing that I do like, though, is if you go back and watch, and I watched some of the game today, if you go back and watch, when JMO was in, he was getting free. And that's where a lot of people were getting upset, saying that Goff couldn't hit him. Goff couldn't, get JMO the ball when he was open. But JMO was like the fourth, option on a play, the fourth check down or the third check down. And the play was already moved past him. So, of course, it looks like JMO's wide open. But what I'm going to say is JMO was getting open. So I would look for Jared Goff to get JMO involved early and let's, utilize JMO's speed. Hopefully they do tomorrow up against this defensive back group that's just really not that great for the Bucs. I'm more worried about the linebackers than anything. I mean, Vita Vea is Vita Vea. But then we've got Frank Ragnow in front of him. And Graham Glasgow and Jonah Jackson. I mean, those are three of the best offensive linemen you're going to find in this league. And I'm just really not worried about the defensive pressure from the front of the line. I'm more worried about it from the linebackers, which I said yesterday, too, that it could give Sam Laporta, a rough outing. He didn't have the greatest day against the Bucs, but that was also week 6, and he was still young. He was still learning. And it didn't take him, much longer after that to really start having some big games. So, look, it's wide open tomorrow. I think that the Lions can do a lot. I think that they're going to play well. And I really think that, just like Bramanda said, going to be a clean pocket. I hope so. I really hope so. Goff is probably going to get some pressure, but we need to see the smart Goff tomorrow. We need to see the Goff that is, on top of everything, that he's quick to react if he's going to get pressured. And when I say pressure, I don't mean just your normal, you're kind of pushing the line back and it's getting back to the quarterback and he's got to move. No, I'm saying pressure like you got someone coming at you like now. And when that happens, he's got to know where that ball's going. I call him a giraffe, when he runs, when he looks like a clunky giraffe when he runs. And sometimes we had a caller a couple weeks ago that said this, that he just looks god awful back there when he's under immense pressure and he just doesn't know what to do. I mean, he looks highly uncoordinated. We know he's not. It looks way worse than what it really is. But I tell you what, you go put yourself back there and you see what happens. You probably wouldn't even be able to move. You'd probably be getting creamed. I know I would be. So I'm too old for that stuff. We need the Goff that's on it tomorrow. He's got to be sharp. He's got to know where the ball's going, every second, every quarter second, every 10th of a second. He's just got to be loaded and ready to go. Be that as it may, though. We got a few more in the chat. Tracy May, Brimanda, who I said, and Robert Wells. Great evening to you guys all. So how are we doing in this poll here? We got 78% that feel the Lions are going to return a punt or a kick for a TD. I would love to see it, man. We need it. We need some special teams play. We need all three phases working tomorrow. Offense, defense, special teams. And let's put these Bucs out. So who's calling next? 313-312-0348. Let's get your takes on the line. I'm going to take a look here at the Green Bay game. And it looks like Green Bay has drove the ball all the way down. There's 8 minutes, 54 seconds left in the first quarter. And they appear to be on about the 13-yard line. It also looks like my screen is freezing for some reason. Turn that off. Sorry about that. The Packers, like I said a couple weeks ago, they are the one team that I'm worried about. They are the one team that's playing really, really hot right now outside of the Ravens. The Lions, I mean, our offense is cooking, but our defense is not playing at an elite level like Green Bay Packers are right now. But I still wouldn't ignore an opportunity to face them again, especially after what they did to us on Thanksgiving. My screen is freezing for some reason, so I don't know if there's a score yet or what. But we got another caller. I'll be right back. All right, we got Sports Talk with Rob on the line. Rob, how are you doing? And thank you for all the super chats, my man. That's super appreciated.
Oh, no, it's all love, bro. So, but other than that, man, everything good. It's been a very good week, I feel like for all of us, especially for me. It's my first time witness the Lions winning the division. Last time they won a division, I was there on diapers. So, but yeah, this has been an amazing week. And honestly, I'm going to keep it real. Like, honestly, I said make a complete season for me. A division win, a playoff win. But with saying all that, I think we're going to the Super Bowl. I think, like I told you before, bro, it's all about that momentum. I don't really care how talented the team is. It's all about who got the momentum. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I feel like we one of the teams that got that momentum. You know what I'm saying? The game this week, tomorrow. I know the Buccaneers got better, but one thing that they still are very inconsistent at doing is putting up points, and their offense is still shaky. 1 minute I would see them put up points like they did against Philly, and the next minute they'll put up just 9 points like they did the last game of the season versus the Panthers. So,
right.
I think to be able to beat us, you will have to put up points. You know what I'm saying? So, I think even though our D-line has been struggling all year, I think they will have their best game tomorrow. And plus, bro, I don't believe in Baker still. I mean, I know he earned him some money, you know what I'm saying, going to the offseason, but I don't believe in Baker, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you got these Bucs fans talking about revenge tour. Y'all acting like y'all still got 12, bro. Ain't no what revenge are y'all talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? What, y'all gonna put up 10 points instead of 6? Like, you know what I'm saying? So look, I'm thinking the score is gonna be 31-17, and I'm just being nice to the Buccaneers, to tell you the truth. But
so you're right there with me.
Yeah.
I'm 31-18. I think that there's going to be a couple of field goals in there.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like we just keep the main thing, bro. Just run the ball like we always been doing. For some reason, I'm expecting a nice game for J-Mo. I feel like everybody, we all always say that, but I think, the way the Buccaneers like to blitz, I think he'll have more opportunities. I mean, he's gonna do him regardless. So, but I think J-Mo gonna have a good game. I think Sam gonna have a good game. Yeah, man. I just think it's gonna be overall complete game for the Lions, man.
See, that's the problem that I don't think many fan bases realize is we've got Amon-Ra, we have Sam Laporta, Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. We got 4 guys right there putting up 4,000 yards this season or more, right? And then you go down to our second string, because those are all kind of our first string guys. I mean, Amani and Jahmyr, I mean, they're kind of splitting the rack back there, but they're both starters. Then you've got Josh Reynolds. I mean, he's just come alive. I mean, what he did in that last playoff game was nothing short of incredible. I mean, he was making some incredible catches. When Khalif Raymond is healthy, I mean, he's another scary option. He's super quick, super, speedy and shifty. But then you've got DPJ. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, if DPJ had to play in a number 1 role, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I would be mad that Amon-Ra was out. But if he really had to play, I wouldn't be upset. I've seen him play so well, not, last season, but the season before, not this past season, but the season before. And then he got shelved this year because they didn't have Deshaun Watson, out there passing the ball. They were running the ball. So we've got a lot of guys on this team that can play and play at a high level. It's just, when are they really going to be needed? Because you can only get the ball to so many guys. And Jared Goff spread it out to 10 guys last time, but they're not getting bunches of yards. They're just doing their job, So it's a tough offense to guard against. Let me ask you a question. Are you worried about Ben Johnson leaving? I think everyone understands that Aaron Glenn is probably going to leave, and it's probably the best thing for him if he gets an opportunity. But what about Ben Johnson? Are you worried about him taking off?
So, I mean, I would hate for him to leave, but it's understandable. I mean, the guys, he came back, his second year, so. Yeah, I'm a little worried, but at the same time, I'm confident that, Dan and Brad will bring the right people, the right guy, to even continue to make sure our offense is still good. But, I mean, sure, it's one of the things with Ben Johnson, like, I can't get mad if he leave, bro. But also, I'm not too... People got to understand about head coaching jobs, bro. Like, that's a tough task, And a lot of... Like, what's the offensive coordinator that used to run the offense with Kansas City? I forgot his name, but a couple years he was a candidate to be a head coach.
Is that Bellamy? Was that Bellamy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he was supposed to been gone. But, I think people understand, man, having a head coach, being a head coach, like, it's just so much you got to do. Like, just more than just calling plays. Like, you have to, how tough it is to lead men? That's a tough task. And I feel like a guy like Dan Cameron, that's why he's able to do that. He just got the personality for it, So, of course, y'all be worried, but at the same time, I'm confident as well that Sheila, Brad, Dan will bring the right guy, to continue to make sure we can continue to be a threat in the offense. But
well, I do know that we've been training a second guy this year, and I can't remember his name. Excuse me, I can't remember his name right now. But Dan Campbell made sure that after last season that he kind of had a ghost with him. Ben Johnson was going to have somebody riding with him, and teaching him the ropes just in case Ben does take off after this season. So we do have an immediate backup. I just don't know his name right off the top of my head. So I know that we have, something put into place. But I'm not opposed to going outside and, finding, another bigger name. There's a lot of people that want to come to Detroit right now. And that's the difference is even though these guys are exiting, and that's why I'm not extremely worried. I'm a little worried, but when guys are exiting, we got more guys that want to come now, more than ever before. And it's not just players, it's coaches too. So I think that we're going to be set up for a while. I think that this team's going to be set up for a while.
Yeah, man, like, that's something I've been trying to, like, I'm just now, like, talking my ish now. But I think, like, during the season, like, I try to keep things, like, steady and humble, only because, like, regardless of what happened this season, I'm more so excited for our future. Like, I really feel like we're going to be winning for generations to come. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, you never know, man. Maybe Ben, like, depending on how far we go, like, man, I want to keep this name rolling, so you just never know, I did want to say something too. I want to talk about Aaron Glenn a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't been an advocate of him leaving, like trying to like get rid of him, only because regardless how, our D line's been struggling and sometimes our DBs, they could be suspect. But I just really feel like what we have, he's done a pretty good job.
100%.
Been multiple times where I feel like even though our DBs are not the best, but one thing I can say about our defense, like when we need a stop, we just need a stop. They can make a stop. I think they proved that last game. People want to call pass interference, but I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's been a lot of games this year, like they've been getting their butts kicked, but they needed a stop. They could get the stop that we need. So, and I feel like it doesn't matter who was the defensive coordinator of our team. If you don't have the right guys, stand to put you on the next level, it doesn't really matter who's the defensive coordinator. And I feel like, in the off season where, they add more some pass rush guys, to get to the quarterback. Like you said, we are a destination. This is the beauty of winning. People want to come to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, our personnel level has been kind of an issue on the defense, and I do feel like AG's done a good job. And there's just been some things that have really bothered me with how the defense hasn't been performing, especially in third and long situations. You can't get stop after stop on first and second down and get into a negative position. To get the offense into a negative position, and then you give up a first down on 3rd and 19. Like, those are things like that's a scheme thing. That's a defensive coordinator call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you can't go all out on that. You need to sit back and make sure that nothing gets above that 19 yards and prevent that first down. And that's what bothers me. That's the only thing that bothers me. But I don't know if that's a Dan Campbell saying be aggressive, or if that's, Aaron Glenn has full autonomy of the defense and what they're going to do in that situation. But you know what? We'll find out when and if he's gone. I think that we're only 3 players away from having some major damage done to opposing offenses next season. And I feel like we'll get those 3 players with or without Aaron Glenn there. The only benefit of losing Aaron Glenn and losing all that continuity, because there's that factor too, is we get those 2 third-round picks for 2 seasons in a row, which would be huge for this team right now. So, look, Lions are here to stay. They're here to win. They're going to be around for a while. Rob, I always appreciate you calling in, man. Go Detroit Lions tomorrow. Big win. I'll be in Detroit early and sitting down low, 105. Derek will be next to me. We're going to rock it out.
Oh, yeah, and I'll be at home. I'll be on that Buccaneers pack tomorrow. So, yeah, let's go.
All right, my man. I appreciate you. You have a good night, all right?
All right, man. Keep winning in life, bro.
All right, you too. You too. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Love when Rob calls, man. He's always got some good sound takes, and not that everybody has to have that, but he's as real as they get. And he definitely loves his Detroit Lions. So thank you, Rob, for calling again tonight. And stay warm, stay dry tomorrow. But you got to scream through that TV. Everybody does. If we just do it all at the same time, maybe they'll hear us around the world for once. All right. So next topic, I really don't have any, but I wanted to take a look at the score here. I think the last time I checked, Green Bay was up 3-0. Still 3-0. And for whatever reason, when I try to put the game on, it freezes. And it's probably because I'm live streaming right now. So that's all right. But 3-0 right now, Green Bay. It's 4 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first quarter. Let me see if I can pull up the Gamecast. I'm not going to be doing any sort of a play-by-play or anything. Just I want to follow it a little bit. All right. So right now in this game, if it could give me the update. Want to look at the team stats. So Green Bay has 45 total yards right now, 15 passing, 30 rushing. So they're clearly got their rushing game going again tonight, 3.5 yards per carry. They took 7 minutes and 38 seconds off the clock to start the game. So they're definitely running the ball, and they're running the ball well. All right, so I put the number back in the chat, 313-312-0348. If anybody else would like to call and talk about your Detroit Lions, love to get somebody on that's going to the game tomorrow. Again, I'll be doing a sign in section 105, 30 rows back from, so right on the 40-yard line, 30 rows back from the Detroit Lions bench. I'll have my sign up there. You got to look for it. If you see it, take a picture on the TV, send it to us. If you do see it, and if you do send in the picture and you send it to the Rock Down Podcast Network YouTube as a message or something or a comment, we'll do something for you. Like maybe, let me grab one of these for you. I'll show you what I'm going to give away. Just so happen to have your guy, number 20. I'm not going to open it. I got an extra one of these Barry Sanders statues that I'd like to give away. So if you guys see the sign tomorrow and you take a picture, the first one to comment on this video that we're doing right here with that picture, I think you guys can attach pictures. If not, I think you can attach pictures, can't you? Now I'm questioning myself on how I can do this. Well, if you can't send in a picture, just send in that you got the picture. I don't know. Be the first one to say that you saw it on TV and what it says. And I'll make sure that you get this Barry Sanders statue. So comment on this video what the sign says on the front or the back, because there's going to be 2 sides. Be the first one, and you'll get the Barry Sanders statue. I think that's the best way I can do it. And I still got somebody that has to get a t-shirt. So I'm going to redraw the t-shirt. I gave the t-shirt away. I notified the individual and they said that they didn't feel worthy of the t-shirt because they just started following the Lions, which I mean, that floored me. So I would like to give away it's a lock. It's an official, it's a lock t-shirt. I will end up giving that out the next time we go live after the game. It'll be a late show on Sunday for me because I've got to drive 2.5 hours back home, but we'll take about 3.5, and then I'll jump on. But I'll make sure that I give away the shirt. So yeah, Phil Feist says you can't attach any photos. So just be the first one that comments on this video what the sign said. On the front or the back, there's going to be two sides. There's actually something that's going to be on the front that I didn't say earlier. I kind of said what it would say, but there's something that's going to be on there. But anyway, all right, who wants to call next? 313-312-0348. If I'm not going to get a bunch of callers, I'll probably end it by 9. Just because tonight was all about you guys. That's all it was for. Just wanted to make sure I gave everyone an opportunity to call. And I want to shout out Better the Hunt. And I'm not going to remember everybody. Better the Hunt, huge donation yesterday. Of course, Sports Talk with Rob, another donation from him yesterday. I think Casey sent in one yesterday. There was quite a few. So everybody that sent in super chats yesterday, it's super appreciated. And we can't thank you enough. It really does go a long way. Matter of fact, the next game, because we're going to have another game. We're already talking about trying to do something before the game and try to get people together, whether it's the day before, unless it's a night game, which I don't know if it'll be a night game. It could be, but maybe the day before we'll try to do like a meet and greet because you're talking NFC championship game. So if it's at home, we'll try to do something. We get everybody together or go do a watch party somewhere. If it has, if it's away, I know I wouldn't be going if it's away. Derek was talking about going if it was away, but I definitely wouldn't be going. All right. Still 3-0. Looks like Green Bay has the ball back, man. This is exactly what we needed. They just got to keep it going. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but earlier I saw I think it was fake, some guy saying that there was a news channel out west that posted that the who was going to be there during halftime and that it was San Francisco and Baltimore's, Super Bowl. It had to have been fake, but apparently some news channel put that out, and NFL was now caught. Has to be fake. I don't know why people do that stuff. I guess they do it just for clicks. But it looks like Green Bay might be on the march here. Man, it would be sweet if they won and we could go in and tear up the Bucs tomorrow. All right, I'm going to leave the phones open for just a few more moments. If you guys would like to call 313-312-0348. And then when I'm done, I know Derek's doing a live stream tonight of the Green Bay 49ers game. He's just talking about it, doing a little play-by-play. So if you head over to Lions Fan Syndicate or Sports Syndicate Detroit or Detroit Sports Syndicate, he will be over there doing a live stream. I don't think you can actually watch the game, but I think he's doing at least play-by-play. All right, send me some topics here in the chat. Anything you guys would like to talk about before we end this one? Hokey Doe says, I have a Barry Sanders sweatshirt from 1997. My mom got me for Christmas. I retired it when he retired. I have broken it out of retirement since the Vikings game. Man, that's incredible. Special shirt, right? Special times. Tracy May says, I'll be in 140 row 22. Awesome. Phil Fight says, I fully expect a long ball to JMO tomorrow. I hope so too, man. I want to see JMO get involved. He's really taken a huge turn in his ability and his availability. But he's really been stepping it up. And I think that it took him, if you guys remember that one, it might have been the Vikings game where he kind of was bent over backwards and then both legs were underneath him and they kind of hyperextended as he fell back. And you could tell he was scared and he rolled off the field. And then you saw him kind of jogging up and down the side of the field. I think it was at that point that he realized he was okay. And that was probably the scariest moment after coming back from the ACL that he had. And it was at that point that he realized, I'm good. And he kind of just took off with it. Like, ever since then, he's been getting more confident. And you could see that his on-field confidence changed. The way he interacted with his teammates on-field changed. Just everything about him changed. So that's just my perception. That's just what I see. It may be totally wrong. He may be doing nothing different at all, but I guess visually that's what I noticed. But it just felt like ever since then, he's kind of really stepped into his own. And that's good for him. It's good for any young player, especially coming back from a major injury like that. And now on a team where it's competitive. This is a tough team to get snaps for. Trace says, what about Baker's injury? Do you think it will affect his game after he takes a couple of good hits? I did not look at the injury report today. So what's he got going on? Let's see here. Injury update on Baker. So he was listed as questionable before the Eagles game with an ankle injury and then the rib injury. I mean, I know this about ribs. I do not know the condition of Baker, but I do know this about ribs. Very tender. I mean, just coughing, you can dislodge, the interstitial tissue or whatever it's called. And that's very painful. Like what happened to Montgomery. He bruised that cartilage and that took him out for weeks. Ribs are funny. Like you can play with a broken rib, but you couldn't play with a bruised one or a bruised that cartilage or whatever that's in interstitial tissue that's in between there. Totally changes everything. Because breathing and just everything, it stretches it and it's just really painful and you got all those nerves. So if his ribs are that tender, he will take a couple of shots of the ribs tomorrow. I'll guarantee it. Not to say that these guys are out there headhunting to hurt people, but they know where your weak spots are and they know, what they're doing. But the main thing is they're just trying to get him down. If he takes a shot, he takes a shot. And if he takes a good enough shot, it will inhibit his ability to throw the ball or at least throw it well. Update here, end of the first quarter. Packers are up 3-0. So we've got another dogfight of a game today until one of these teams busted out like Lamar did with the Ravens. Packers put up 111 total yards in the first quarter, so they're moving the ball. And they've controlled the clock 11 minutes and 47 seconds to San Francisco's 3 minutes and 13 seconds. So if I were to make a wild guess right now, Green Bay probably wins this game. As long as they're able to continue to control the clock like this, San Francisco will be suffocated and they won't be able to move the ball. Which is great for the Lions. I mean, I could care less, about either one of these teams winning or losing, but today we want these Packers to win only because it gives us a shot to stay home and have a third playoff game in a row, which would just be incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. So look, it is coming up on the 9:00 hour. We got a couple of calls in. I appreciate you all for joining me tonight. I was hoping to get a lot more calls. That tonight was just for you guys. So we're going to end it for today. I'll put out some information about tomorrow's show. It's definitely going to be a later show, probably around 11 p.m. which would give us some time to get everybody else, on and off. And then I'll be the only show on, right? So, all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys as always. And tomorrow, man, you got to wish these Lions in. They just need a little bit of hope, a little bit of love, and a whole lot of cheering tomorrow. So go One Pride, go Detroit Lions. And that's it for tonight. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Go One Pride. Bye-bye.